Hello my angels, welcome to TJS Tarot. If you are new to my content, welcome. My name is TJ. I am a psychic divination reader and witch, and I'm so happy to have you here today. If you are returning to my channel, welcome. I'm just as happy to have you here as well. Today we are looking into, any shifts or changes that are happening in your current place of work. So like the company that you work for, the job that you work for, what is changing? This can have anything to do with leadership changes. This can do with maybe like budget cuts, you know, anything that's important to know is what I was asking Spirit for. I went ahead and I pre-shuffled some oracle cards here, as you can see. And I am going to clarify with tarot. We're gonna start out with the oracles, see whatever I can pick up on, and then dive into tarot to see if there's any more information. What else is there? Please make sure you're using your own discernment when you are picking the cards. Feel free to pause the video, meditate which one gravitates towards you the most. Keep in mind that this is a general reading for a large number of people. So if you feel as though that the pile that you picked isn't fully resonating, you're not really digging the energy or connecting with the energy, feel free to pick another pile. If you feel like none of the piles are resonating with you, then maybe this reading isn't meant for you at this time. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started, starting with pile 1, and I will see you there. Hello, my pile 1s. Welcome to your reading. So let's go ahead and get started here. What shifts and changes are coming about in your current place of work? So we have look for a sign. Yes. Not the right time. Communicate clearly. Within the next few months. I apologize for the glare, by the way. Let's put these up. Words of abundance, savings. We got mouse, dog, movement, clean your space, and sweet treat. I'm getting a little bit of uncomfortability from you, my pile 1s. I don't know if you feel like there are changes and shifts on the horizon and it may be making you uncomfortable, and maybe you're wondering if you should look elsewhere, or if these are going to be positive changes, if these changes are going to benefit you. If I feel like there's a lot of anxiety around the unknown, and there's anxiety as far, you could have been asking for a sign as far as, are you going to continue to be okay in your line of work? Are you going to be currently okay with the changes that are being made, or staying in this position, or staying at this company altogether? I feel like there's a little bit of hesitancy, and you may be wondering if everything is going to be okay, if everything's going to work out for you, if there is going to be any kind of lack, or things getting taken away from you. Because I'm getting multiple. Oh, I see. So with all these angel answer cards, so we got look for a sign, yes, not the right time, communicate clearly, and within the next few months. I feel as though that this is around you making a decision. I feel like you're wondering whether or not you should stay with your company. I feel as though that you're, I don't know if you're looking elsewhere, or you feel as though that you should be looking elsewhere. But there's just like an instability feeling that I'm getting, especially with like the mouse and the dog here. So these are Lenormand cards. And with the mouse, that's all about disease, decay, sickness, things that don't make us feel good, things that are, think of like a plague, I guess you could say. And dog, that's all about loyalty. And I feel like you're wondering if you should detach from things that haven't been going well lately or haven't been going well for you personally. But there's also a sense of like, or should I be loyal? Or maybe you are loyal to this company because there are a lot of good benefits and a lot of good things attached to your current line of work or your job, or maybe the people that you work with. There is like a glimmer of loyalty that you do have within your current place of work. And I feel like this is where like a lot of conflict comes, because you want to make sure that you're getting with savings and words of abundance. Maybe it has to do with money. Maybe it has to do with like, are you going to be moving up in the company? Are you going to be getting your flowers? Are you going to be getting, the recognition that you really need and you deserve? Maybe they've been asking a lot from you lately, your line of work, or maybe they've been cracking the whip. And I feel like if you're feeling uneasy, they want you to wait. They want you to wait because I feel like down the line, things could be getting better. I feel like this is just a little bit of a hiccup right now, but I feel like oh, okay. Yeah, you need to speak out about this. You need to communicate clearly to your boss or to your coworker, or whoever. If you feel uneasy and you feel like you need to speak your truth, please feel guided to do that. Because as long as you're respectful, as long as you're professional, you're respectful, you are aware of current situation. And when I say aware of current situations, I'm saying make sure you throw it out there, like, I understand X, Y, and Z has been happening, but this is making me feel X, Y, and Z, and because of that, it is making me not want to work here anymore. And it's like, it's to that degree of maybe you're having a conversation as far as like, I don't want to leave, but this continuously going on is making me want to leave. Maybe not as bluntly as I just put it, but use your own words, throw your own flair into that. But I feel like if you really communicate, because I feel like a lot of more times than not, higher ups, people in leadership, I feel like at the end of the day, everyone is just worried about their own role. Everyone is worried about making sure they are doing what they need to do to make sure things are getting done. And oftentimes they aren't really worried about the other person. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's personal, but it's not personal at the same time. It feels personal, but I feel like whoever is in charge, like, they are just doing their job, just like you are just doing yours. And I feel like people in a line of business, especially people who are in a higher position of power, they neglect to realize at the end of the day, we are all humans. We are all, we all go through personal and heavy things in our life. And they forget that, even though a job needs to get done, we, at the end of the day, we aren't robots. You know what I mean? There's a level of vulnerability that is necessary to take in order to be successful as well. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. If you are worried about money, I'm going to look into that more with tarot, but let's see what else we have here. We have movement, we have clean your space, and we have sweet treat. Yeah, so I feel like things are going to be moving out. And when I say things, I mean things of like this mouse energy. I feel like negative energy is going to be cleaned out, and good things are going to be coming in. You particularly watching this, this doesn't have to resonate, but I feel like you may be in a position of like leadership, or you may be in a position of power, or maybe like you are like a supervisor, or you are in charge of something very, very important, or you're in charge of like a very, very important task, or a very important job specifically. And I feel like you may be bringing in a little bit of that anxious energy. I'm not saying this is your fault. I'm not saying that at all. We are all humans. We all, experience different, ebbs and flows of emotions. But I feel like if it is possible and if it allows, they're telling me for you to like literally clean your space, like either declutter, maybe use like Florida water or use some sort of like cleansing spray. I don't recommend smoke because I assume, I mean, unless you work from home and you're able to do that, I don't really recommend like anything with smoke because, you know, fire detectors and stuff. But try to go to like a metaphysical store and find like Florida water or like sage, like in an actual like spray bottle, and spray that around. And I feel like that's going to help shift everything, because I feel like if you work in like an office space or like very close quarters, I feel like with everything, because I feel like maybe you communicate on the phone, maybe you do a lot of customer service work, maybe it's just like a lot of like heated energy that goes on in the space that you work in. And this is, it's all manifesting and bubbling up, and you're all walking into that every single day. So I feel like the space needs to be cleared, and I feel like once that happens, it's gonna feel a lot lighter. And I recommend doing that every so often, maybe once a week, maybe bi-weekly, once a month, whatever you feel like called to do. I recommend doing that and clearing your space, because I feel like it's a very great way to kind of start the day like, okay, like fresh energy, you know, we all feel great, we all feel, you know, liberated in some way. I feel like that could make a big, or if you don't work in an environment where that is doable, then cleanse yourself. You know, get like an aura spray or something and just spray it on yourself, just as long as you yourself are feeling, you know, with a sweet treat here, if you're feeling calm, cool, collected, very zen, very centered. I mean energy is energy, you know, as long as, you know, you're feeling very, very calm and peaceful and secure within yourself. I mean, that's going to exude throughout time. Okay, so let me go ahead and get into some tarot. I feel as though you're a little bit stressed out about money, or you're a little stressed out about some sort of like financial situation. So let me look into that. Please and thank you, Spirit, for my pile ones. Can you please look into and send us any clear messages regarding money for my pile ones with the current shifts going on at work? Yeah, this just goes hand in hand with making a decision about whether you should stay or not. I really do think, oh my gosh, I can't speak. I really do believe things are going to get better, but this is all a matter of you communicating, being professional, laying down the law, laying down your boundaries and your ground rules as well. I feel like that is going to bring a lot more stability within you, within yourself, because I mean, you don't have to work there. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of places don't realize. It's like, I feel like a lot of, especially like corporate places, they don't realize the value in their workers, really. You know, and I know companies see a lot of people as like, oh, disposable, we'll just find somebody. But I don't think in this situation particularly, I don't think they realize how valuable you really are and how much of an asset you are and how much you actually have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And I feel like if you were to leave, it would just cause more problems. So instead of causing more problems that way, they just need to resolve whatever issues are going on. I feel like this has to do with communicate. Maybe your job is communication, but something needs to clear out and be restored with communication. Yeah, you guys need to get on the same page. And don't feel as though you're stepping on anybody's toes. Like I said, as long as you're respectful, as long as you're if you mean well, You know what I mean? Like if you are professional and you come from a place like you genuinely care, I feel like at the end of the day, that's what matters. You know what I mean? Because I feel like you may be wanting to like step down, or you may be, yeah, I feel like you just really want to leave because you're sick and tired of the situation. Okay, let's look more into like finances, because that's what I was looking into originally. Tell me more about the financial aspect of this, please, Spirit. Oh, yep, there it is. You're stressed out about it. Maybe anxiety, sleepless nights. You just don't want to be burdened by it anymore. Oh, my Lord, my love. Tell me more. Tell me more. How can this get resolved? Yep, there it is. You got the King and you got the Queen of Swords. You got to speak up. You're letting a lot of this fester inside, and the reason why you're not seeing any results, you're not seeing any shifts, is because you're not saying anything. I feel like as well, you have a lot of good ideas. You have a lot of good ideas. You have a lot of inspiration to spread around, and you have a very great head on your shoulders. You have ideas, and you have solutions, but you don't say anything. Why don't you say anything? You don't want to step on anybody's toes. My darling, okay, if you are in a leadership position, you need to start acting like a leader a little bit more. Maybe you have some personal stuff going on. And when I say you need to start acting like a leader a little bit more, I'm not saying that. Please don't take offense to me saying that. I just mean you need to take advantage of the role that you're in, and you need to realize that you are in, everybody holds a level of power in everything that they do. Okay? Especially in where you work. You know, you have the ability, you have the resources, you have the tools to implement change and growth and productivity. All right? So I feel like you need to say something, and I feel like you have it in you, and you could be very well spoken as well, since you have the King and the Queen of Swords here. You have the ideas, you have the inspiration, you have, I don't think you realize how much of an impact you can actually play if you just speak up. So as far as like shifts happening in your current line of work, in your job, in the company that you work for, I feel like change starts with you. And that's by communicating clearly, and that's by speaking up, and that's by you have a lot of ideas. You're a problem solver, and you don't want to say anything because maybe you've just felt a little torn down lately at work. You need to take your power back. If someone is making you feel low, or if you're feeling really discouraged, and maybe you have personal things going on too, like I understand that and I respect that. You know, everybody's human, everybody goes through, you know, personal things, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I will say, you feeling better and you taking your power back and speaking up and speaking clearly and implementing providing your ideas, I feel like that is going to be the start of a lot of good things unfolding for you. Let's see if there's anything else with that. Yep. Yeah. Emotional fulfillment. Tell me more about that. Yeah. I mean, that's Venetian energy. You know, if you're really stressed out about money, I feel like that will go away in time. I feel like as far as money, I feel like you will be okay. I feel like you're feeding into that a little bit because you have so much stress and anxiety. You know, energy feeds energy. Okay? So if you're feeling really down, if you're feeling really anxious, that you know, that kind of energy, it's like a succubus, you know, it just grows and grows and grows and manifests, and it's ugly. It's you know, it's this mouse energy. It's a plague. It's, you know, it's disgusting. It's gross. It's uncomfortable. You know, you need to shift that energy. And I feel like a good start would be by cleansing your space, cleansing yourself, cleansing your aura, cleansing your work environment, maybe even like decluttering, and even like write things down. I recommend you writing things down, writing your ideas, writing like maybe make like bullet points of things that you want to mention to your boss or to your company or whatever. And, you know, make good points and be like, okay, like I understand where you're coming from, that these deadlines or, you know, these goals need to be made. However, you know, we are unable to do that if, you know, X, Y, and Z, if we're not getting like a certain level of support, or if we're not, you know, whatever the case may be. And I feel like you holding your own and staying very professional and calm and direct, it will be very eye-opening for them. Okay? So I definitely feel as though good things are on the horizon. As far as money, I wouldn't be surprised if you did get a raise shortly after all of this, or if you got some type of recognition. This is telling me that this is like a new opportunity to feel like emotionally secure and fulfilled. And then with the Empress energy, she embodies everything divine feminine. But I feel like they are going to start seeing you at this, you know, regard, and they're going to start treating you as such. Okay? So that is all I have for you today, my Pyle ones. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment down below if you feel called to do so. I really want to know if this resonated. But yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye. Hello, my Pyle 2s. Welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and look into any shifts and changes happening in your current place of work. We got yes, be assertive, perfect timing, power of prayer, ask for your needs to be met, coffin, ship, spend time with friends, be still, use your hands, sex, and watch a movie. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna save. This is like outside stuff. I'm gonna look into some other things. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna save this for last, but I'm just going to say it out loud so I hopefully don't forget. But I feel as though that there's like a little bit of chisme. There's a little bit of drama going on in your line of work, but I will save that till the very end. As far as shift and changes going on in your place of work, there may be something that you want right now in your current line of work. I feel like maybe you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, or you're waiting to maybe get some recognition that you've been wanting to get. Maybe you've been maybe hoping for a bonus, a raise, a promotion, something along those lines. Or this could be just maybe just the environment feeling better too. Sometimes it could just be as simple as that. But I feel like so these are Lenormand cards. I feel like there is going to be a death or an ending of some sort, and something else coming in. I'll have to clarify some stuff with tarot, but Yeah, I feel like there is going to be like a new cycle for you coming in as far as your current place of work. I feel like if your question was, you know, the answer to your question is yes. I feel like if there is something, if you, hold on, let me organize my thoughts for a moment. Whatever it is that you are looking for, whatever it is that you are wanting in your current place of work in order for your needs to be met, to feel secure, to feel safe, to either move on up in the company or wherever, whatever it is that you want in order to be happy in your current line of work, yes, it's going to happen. Okay? There is going to be an ending. There is going to be a death. There is going to be, something is going to come to a close. And I feel like new things are going to be on the horizon. And this could even be possibly for some of you getting a new job, because this has to do with travel. This has to do with, you know, going somewhere else. Maybe you'll be moving to a different department. Maybe people that you don't like are going to be moving to another department or getting maybe let go. But I'm seeing something getting taken away and then new stuff coming in. I don't know if maybe you have toxic coworkers. I don't know if maybe there is someone that you don't like in particular that is finally going to be, that could be part of it too. Maybe this could have to do with maybe you getting rid of somebody, or there's some sort of like toxic environment going around or going on, or like a toxic person in particular, or maybe there's just like bad habits. There's something that isn't benefiting the entire group or the entire environment. And I feel like this could have been something that you were hoping and praying for, and making sure like everybody's needs are being met, or it could just be yours. Whatever it is, I feel like that is going to happen. Okay, I feel like something is going to get taken away, something is going to get discarded, and something new is going to be coming in. Now, let's go ahead and look into these. Use your hands. Watch a movie. I feel like you're not going to have to do anything. If you are feeling called to, I just heard like stir the pot. If you're being called to, you know, tell a manager or tell somebody or spread, don't say anything. I'm just going to say that. If you see something, oh my gosh, I can't talk. So sorry. If it physically has to do with someone being harmed, being, you know, someone, it's like a life or death situation, somebody's, you know, if it's really serious, then obviously, yes, do something and say something. I don't think it's anything as severe as that. If it is, then definitely do something and say something. What I'm picking up specifically, I feel like it's more like risque, like, oh, did you hear so-and-so is, you know, cheating on his wife with so-and-so? I feel like it's something along like that degree, because we have sex here. This could have to do with an affair. This could have to do with maybe there's a couple that, you know, works together and they're bringing their relationship problems into the workplace. But I feel as though, because with watch a movie, I feel like you are just going to be sitting back watching everything go down. I feel like you're not going to have to do anything. So if this is something that you've been hoping for, wishing for, praying for, that things would end or things would just finally like get resolved, I feel like you are going to be able to see everything go down in real time. And I feel like you don't need to worry about this. Whatever it is that you are currently worried about, you don't have to worry about it. You really don't. Just worry about you, you know, worry about you, you know, go to work, do what you're supposed to do. And, you know, everything is going to be sorted out. I'm going to ask, Tarot to clarify this sex card. Sex is also, you know, pleasure. So I feel as though that, if if anything like risque that I mentioned, like there would be no possible way of like that happening, or that just like doesn't resonate, then this is all about you moving into a more pleasurable environment or a pleasurable outcome. Can you please clarify the sex card, please? Can you please clarify? Yeah. Yeah, there's going to be an ending. This kind of clarifies with like the coffin card. Something is going to, I don't know if something is going to come out. If it really is, because I'm picking up on multiple scenarios here, if things are getting really heated and there's a lot of, drama, and there's a lot of, stuff going on, I feel like the other shoe is going to drop, word is going to spread, people are going to find stuff out, higher ups are going to find stuff out, and they're just going to completely bring that to a close, bring that to an end. And that's going to get resolved really fast, to the point that they're not going to be able to fight back. They're not going to be able to, I don't want to say defend themselves, but it's just going to be a quick, like, okay, you're gone, like an immediate termination or something along those lines. Like it's going to be nipped in the bud, like very quickly. Tell me more about this sex card with this situation. Yeah. You're gonna feel more at ease, more peaceful. Yeah. And it's gonna help you bring in more motivation for yourself too. People are actually gonna be able to work. People are actually gonna be able to get stuff done. People are actually going to, be able to work in a healthy work environment. All right. So any shifts and changes, I feel like there are going to be some closings and fresh starts. If there is like any chaos, any drama, anything that is bringing the energy down, or bringing you down, or bringing the whole place of work down, I feel like that's going to get cleared out. And it's going to be cleared out pretty soon once it gets to that point. And I feel like you're not going to have to be involved with that as much. I feel like you're gonna see everything pan out in real time. And if this does have to do with a promotion or recognition, a raise, a bonus, anything like that, again, as long as you are going to work, doing what you have to do, what you need to do, I feel like that is going to happen. Whatever it is that you're asking for or hoping for, I feel like it is going to happen for you. Okay? Because I'm seeing fresh energy, I'm seeing new energy, I'm seeing people who have overstayed their welcome are going to get removed. All right. But that's all I have for you today, my Pile 2s. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, share, comment down below if this did resonate. I would love to hear if it did. And I will see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello, my Pile 3s. Welcome to your reading. If you chose this pile, let's go ahead and get into it and see what shifts and changes are happening in your place of work. So we have improving health, big happy changes, awesome, forgiveness, helpful people, partnership, abundance mindset, deservingness, birds, mountain, woman, hydrate, spend time with animals, intuition. Some of you, I'm picking up, maybe some of you work with animals. Maybe some of you are veterinarians. I also heard vegetarian too, since improving health is here, and hydrate. Hydrate is right here. So the first thing that I picked up on with improving health, big happy changes, forgiveness, and helpful people, you may be in a position of, being happier at work. If you feel as though, if you're already happy in your line of work, it's going to be magnetized. It's going to be even more fulfilling somehow. I feel like you are going to, yeah, abundance mindset, partnership. You may be getting a promotion, you may be getting a raise, you may be getting recognition, you may be working closer with certain individuals. And I feel as though it's really going to be, it's going to be really good for you. With improving health, this could be good for your self-esteem, your self-worth, maybe even implementing all of your strengths. And with forgiveness here, maybe in the past, maybe you feel as though that you've had to prove yourself in, you know, whatever situation this is. Maybe you feel as though that, maybe you're worried that you disappointed somebody in the past. Like maybe you disappointed maybe like your teammates or somebody a part of leadership, your boss, you know, whoever. And I feel as though maybe this is about forgiving yourself too. But this is all about, because I'm picking up, this is like you having to prove yourself or wanting to prove yourself in some way. And I feel like mostly this forgiveness is for you. And it's going to improve a lot of things for you. It's going to make you very happy, and it's going to put you in a position to really help other people. I feel like this is a leadership type position. For a little bit of you, I feel like this is maybe opening your own business, or if not opening your own business, maybe just adding to your line of work, or having like a side hustle or like a side business. I'm seeing a website. Partnership, spend time with animals. Okay, for some of you, if you have pets, I feel like if you do get like a promotion or you're bringing in more money, because abundance mindset, I feel like more money is going to be coming your way. You aren't really going to have to worry about money as much as you have in the past. And I feel like this is going to impact your pets in some way, and I feel like you're going to be able to provide more for your fur babies. Or maybe you'll just have like more time spent with your pets or your animals, or you know, something like that. Maybe you work with animals, or maybe you yeah, I feel like some of you are healers. Like maybe you do work with animals. Let me see. Deserving it. Yeah, with deservingness, that's why I was picking up on with deservingness and forgiveness. I feel like you need to cut yourself a little bit of slack. I don't think you're super hard on yourself, although maybe you are. I'm not really picking up that you're super hard on yourself, but I feel like this maybe was like a goal that you wanted to reach. Maybe this is something that you wanted to prove something more to yourself than to other people, and just to say like, I can do it, or what can I say? I am capable of doing this, or this is something that I've always wanted to do, and I'm gonna prove. Let me see. So we got the birds. These are Lenormand cards. So we got woman, birds, mountain. Maybe. This could have to do with like an interview itself. So a woman that is like literally a woman. Birds, that's all about communication, maybe gossip. Doesn't have to be gossip, but that's communications, that's talking. And then mountain, that's all about obstacles. So maybe this could be the interview itself. Maybe you want to explain yourself on something, you want to, prove yourself, or show that you are capable. It's almost as if like you want to clear your conscience or something. Let's go ahead and dive into tarot and see what this means. Can you tell me more about these Lenormand cards, please? Can Can you tell me more information about these Lenormand cards? Yeah, you don't want to appear. Maybe this is a position. Maybe this is a position that you've had, or you've had. This is like a repeating of a cycle. So I don't know if maybe you were put in this position before and maybe you didn't do that well, or maybe you felt like you could have done better, or maybe you had to like step away or step down. And because this is like a little bit of like disappointment or like instability, and maybe a little bit of embarrassment, or a little bit of shame I'm picking up on regarding this. And I think that's maybe why you feel as though you have to prove yourself, because I feel like, let me see, let me pull more. Yeah, you've been yeah, you may have had to pull away. So say, okay, I'm just going to use like an example. Say you got a promotion, you were going through it, and you realize you weren't able to perform, or you weren't able to be available the way that you wanted and the way that you needed. So you had to take time for yourself, step down, and now maybe you are interested in the, position again, and it's leaving you with a little bit of anxiousness, because you mean well this time, or you feel like you are able to provide now. Because I feel like this could have had to do with you just transforming, changing, taking time for yourself, nurturing yourself, loving yourself, maybe even perfecting something. Because I'm getting like an anticipation, like you want to have this conversation, you want to have like the heavy talk, or the hard conversation, because you want to explain yourself, and you want to come from a good place. You want to let whoever know that you really have transformed, and you've changed as a person, or an employee. I'm not really getting that you have to do this, though. I feel like this is all for you. I don't even know if it's so much for the other people. Let's see. So how do they feel about you in this situation? How do the people possibly interviewing my pile threes feel about this situation? How do they feel about my pile threes? Interesting. I feel like they definitely see you as a leader. They see you as somebody who's very fair, who's very maybe diplomatic, who has wisdom and knowledge in the line of work that you do. I feel like they are aware of like your disappointments. I don't really feel like they're very disappointed. I feel like they're more aware that you were disappointed in yourself, or you're disappointed in how like things went down. I feel as though I feel like, okay. I feel as though they feel like you are a strong candidate, that you can make decisions, that you are capable of doing whatever it is that needs to be done, and that you could be successful in it. I feel like they feel like you have a lot of potential in this area. I don't think they think negatively of you. I feel like you may be making a bigger deal about this than they are. They literally could not be thinking of it as extensively as you have. I feel like they feel like you have harnessed a lot more wisdom, a lot more maturity, a lot more dedication and perfection in whatever it is that you have been working on, and that you're willing to make that change. You're willing to make sacrifices. You're willing to work for things. Like you have, I feel like they have recognized that you have proved yourself, and that you are willing to make decisions for the better, and that you could I heard in Princess Diaries, the movie Princess Diaries, how Mia's grandmother, so Julie Andrews' character, is like, you could rule. Like, that's what I heard. It's like, you could rule. But they really feel like you have the potential to, yeah. Aussie May. Why the Ace of Swords in reverse? Okay. I feel like they don't really know what you're thinking, or they don't really know what goes on behind the curtain. You may, yeah, they don't really know what your thoughts are. They don't really know everything. They don't know what goes on behind the curtain. But they do feel as though that you are very, very stable and successful, and maybe even nurturing, or you can come off as maybe like a mother hen or a parental figure to maybe the rest of the group. Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of promise in this. I wouldn't be surprised if you got the position. I feel they feel they think well of you. They don't think badly about you at all. I feel like with the Five of Cups in reverse here, I feel like this kind of was a miss, like in the past, but I don't think they're necessarily hanging on to that. I feel like they're recognizing, like, oh yeah, like they stepped down, or they had like this little boo-boo, but I don't think that defines you at all. I feel like they think you're very tenacious, and if you really want something, or you want to get something done, that you're going to do it. You're going to make changes. You're going to make sacrifices. You're going to do what's best for the team at the end of the day, which is good. Okay. That is all I have for you today, my Pile 3s. Like, subscribe, share, comment down below if you feel called to. I really want to know if this resonated, and I will see you next time. Bye.